Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the Cook County State's Attorney's race, the race to replace Kim Foxx. On the one side, the Democrat, you have that retired judge, Eileen O'Neill, O'Shea, O'Malley, Burke, Cullerton, Madigan, whatever.
Hennessy.
Yeah, whatever her. Yeah, she's got a lot of Irish surnames. I know that, and that appears to be her main qualification. And on the other side, you have former Chicago alderman and former county board, I should say, former Chicago mayoral candidate as well, Bob Fioretti, who joins us now. Bob, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good to be here this morning. Thank you.
So, the closing argument, give it to us.
Well, I'm going to stand for our victims. I'm going to stand and make sure that we enforce the law as written and not decide what should be enforced and what shouldn't be. I'm going to make sure we work with law enforcement and not against them. I'm going to go after the corrupt politicians that have been infecting our system from day one, and especially using the property tax system to their advantage to root out that kind of corruption that we see. I'm going to tell you, I have an opponent that's nowhere to be found. And as you started off saying all those Irish names, why is she nowhere to be found? Because she prosecuted an 11-year-old on a coerced confession that was wrong from beginning to end, that she gave $43,000 to the Burke, Madigan, Preckwinkle trio for an unopposed appellate court decision, that she won't disclose what she does or will do after she takes office. I mean, why does she want to hide from the public? Why deny voters to hear your proposals? What is she raising all this money for? She lacks the ethics and qualifications to take this job over. Her failure to debate me shows that, because I'll question her on specifics of why she is even running and who's putting her up.
Why didn't you guys? Yeah, nobody wanted to have a debate. ABC7 or TTW, nobody had a debate for you guys.
She sort of went, well, we sort of asked her, but we've got no response. Well, we asked her a couple of times. We sent her letters. Some faith-based groups and community groups asked her to debate. She ignored them. It was typical out of what's happening and what we see from the Democrats on how they approach this whole either a debate or forum. I'll tell you, I did appear at one forum where the other two candidates, both her and Clayton Harris, were in the western suburbs, and I know after that she would not want to debate me, because I called them both out on the carpet on their proposals and what they wanted to do about really essentially saying that the Safety Act is one of the best things that we've ever seen to the criminal justice system, and it's safety for all of our criminal defendants, but it sure is not safe for the public in the state of Illinois. It's a complete failure in terms of what our legislature did to the public of this county and of this state.
So Burke supports the Safety Act?
Yes, she does.
So that information that Iris Martinez put out, the study that her office did, that drew the ire of Judge Evans and Tony Preckwinkle and whoever else, how impactful do you think that is on the race, just in terms of people's understanding of what's actually happening under this law?
Well, we brought that issue up from the beginning. Once Iris issued that letter, I mean, nobody is showing up for court appearances after their first court appearance, and that's why we see them back out committing more and more crimes. And if they're going to debate, when I say Evans, Preckwinkle, the statistics, why did we, the taxpayers, spend $40 million on case management in the recorder's office to account for who and when they show up or don't show up? The numbers are staggering of people that are no longer showing up, and they just issue a postcard and say, well, come on in for your next court appearance, and if they even receive a postcard in the mail. It's unbelievable on how everybody plays with statistics. We've seen it in the Chicago Police Department going back even in the years when I was an alderman, and we called out the superintendent often on how they were jacking up or jacking down cases that were out there. And now we're seeing it here under Evans' way that he tries to come up with some system to justify this catch and release system that we see.
What do we know about Burke's career as a judge? Is there a case or two that you're aware of that would inform our understanding of her as a potential state's attorney?
Well, that's pretty interesting because we've been looking at many of the few cases that she's ever supposedly authored. And there, a lot of them are more on the civil side, and her numbers are down that she ever was the prime author of a decision. So it's questionable on what she did there. She claims to have been a defense attorney. What cases did she ever do? She went into the appeals division for the state's attorney's office, and really what cases did she handle there that were noteworthy? We don't see anything. Most of them were just average run-of-the-mill. We cut and paste. So she has, her qualifications are solely lacking. Even the Tribune, which did not endorse me, why? Because I offered specific proposals, said I was more qualified than Eileen O'Neill Burke, and yet they went on and endorsed her. And I did give specific proposals, even though they probably did not like them, that I was going to cooperate with ICE, that I was going to come up with new programs on how we deal with the drugs, guns, and human trafficking that come into this city through the dark web. And all of these ideas they just did not like, because no matter what we hear about how they feel about the school board, they are still another cozy industry with the wrongful incarceration people, and they keep writing those type of stories. Well, times are going to change on November 5th when I'm elected. I'm hearing it wherever I go. People are saying, "Are you a Republican?" They all whisper, and I say yes, and they say, "Good, I'm voting for you."
Well, I just want to talk more about ICE, because I know we are a sanctuary state, county, city. How would that work since we are a sanctuary county?
Well, we have to cooperate with the federal government. Federal government supersedes state law unless it violates the Constitution, and we've looked at it and we don't see it. I've talked to other constitutional experts that say we have the right to, those that are in authority should, and under the Constitution, cooperate with the federal law, and not some state law or city ordinance that says, oh, by the way, we're a sanctuary city.
The politics of this, it's been interesting. So on the one hand, you're offering the positions you just offered on cooperating with ICE, on the Safety Act, on prosecuting repeat violent offenders. And yet you also enjoy the endorsement of one Jesse Jackson Sr. How did that happen?
I've known Reverend Jackson for quite a while. There are issues that we do stand on making sure that kids get a good education. across the board that parents should be involved in their kids' education. I've been a strong proponent of making sure that our schools get necessary resources to have all of our kids, no matter what zip code they live in or what area of this city they live in, to have a good education, because I see that as key to everyone's development. And when I was the alderman, I brought 8,000 jobs into my ward. I've been endorsed. He used one word, integrity, that I've been in the community. Same words that Congressman Bost from downstate did, and Congressman Darren LaHood used both of those words in their own statements, that I have the integrity to lead this office and the ethics to lead this office.
But that doesn't represent some other dynamic going on. I mean, there has to be some other dynamic in terms of Jackson coming to your side. There's something else there.
They're fed up with crime. They see it. They see what's happening in their neighborhoods. They know that crime is out of control. They know that kids aren't getting a good education or the trades. They don't have any, maybe not everybody is destined to go to college. But you know what? I've seen it. Kids want to use their hands.
Yeah, but why? But
it's just a repeat of, not crime, it's the repeat offenders that keep doing this.
Yeah. But the politics of this, why is Jesse Jackson and some others supporting you? Why aren't they going with where the power structure is?
They're fed up. Like I said, all I can say is they're fed up with crime in their neighborhoods, lack of educational opportunities, lack of jobs. They're seeing what high taxes can do, especially in the southern suburbs, that have now gone up as high as 120%. I mean, people are fed up all across the board. And a lot of it is because of this criminal cabal that we see from the county, city, and state leaders.
Well, did he contact you, or did you contact him?
It was probably through one of his individuals said, Reverend, in fact, it was a brief conversation on the street. Reverend Jackson really likes you, and why don't you stop by one of the Saturday push meetings and just have a conversation with him? And I did.
What about the Republican Party? How are they? To the
if you can find it for me, I'll tell you what they think.
Okay, very good. Well, there's your answer.
And I'm going to tell you, we're filing a lawsuit today challenging what's happening with the Chicago Board of Elections and on separate counts on what they are doing in terms of mail-in ballots. And we found some other irregularities and violations of law of what the county board is doing election. They're two separate entities here in Cook County, and we're going to have a press conference at 1:00 today talking about this. We've got a draft complaint ready with many of the candidates because they too are fed up, and we see what's happening, and we're calling into question on, is this mere incompetence or is this corruption? And where is Kim Foxx? We used to have 400 state's attorneys out on the street on election day. We don't have anybody anymore. And so what the heck is happening out here?
Well, what's the infraction? What's the allegation?
One, it's you have to, really on the mail-in ballots, you have to disclose which party you're with, and this is a general election. And on the county ones, they are not even processing the request for mail-in ballots. And unless if you're out of state, say you're in South Carolina right now and you need your mail-in ballot, you have to call in. And then they're going to process it, and then they're going to put it in the mail tomorrow. And then guess what? You have to overnight it back to the Board of Elections once you receive it. Well, there's no guarantee on anything. This is beyond the scope of mere incompetence. And who have they targeted? If we have some close state rep or state senate races here in the county, we want to get to the bottom of what's happening with these ballots. And who did they target, and why did they target?
We were talking about your race a little bit the other day, and it's just my feeling from observations that there just isn't the sort of revolt that is happening in Chicago and Cook County that would be required for something seismic to occur, like you to win. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, I think you are, because it's the old used term silent majority. People are fed up. And granted, a lot of them just vote the Democratic line and they go straight down, but people know that they should punch 55 here in this instance and vote for change, and I am the change agent here. And I'm going to stand up and make sure we enforce the law as written. People are sick and tired of the carjackings. And let's just think, and we all know carjackings are up. And there's thousands that have been of carjackings. What was it? The beginning of this year, 2,700 for the first 4 months, something like that. And each carjacking represents multiple crimes thereafter. It's not just a carjacking. How many robberies on the street do they commit? How many gas stations do they commit? Let's not forget, my opponent especially was one who said, it was wrong to paint her as tough on crime. On the day she announced her nomination, that she won the primary of the Democrats by a few, and we had 44,000 Republicans jump ship to vote for her because they thought she was tough on crime, and it turns out she's just a weak-kneed functionary of the Democratic Party, and that's all she is going to be during her 4 years in office if she's elected, and I think she won't be.
I got some people who sent me some images from the landscape there in Cook County, and some Fioretti Harris Walls signs out there. Is your campaign behind the joint Fioretti Kamala signs?
I have seen the same one that has been thrown around all over. That somebody and it's, if they look at who paid for it, it's somebody who I know who does back me, who's also a Democrat. She was at the DNC, and Mother Wade, who is very influential on a number of boards and owns a couple of restaurants here. She's in healthcare, and she put them out, and I heard it afterwards, and I've seen it, and so be it.
Yeah. Okay.
My campaign is going to be Democrat, Fioretti Democrats, independents, and Republicans who want change and are sick and tired of the crime in our streets.
No, I think that's a fair answer. I mean, the Jesse Jackson Sr. thing, obviously, I'm not a huge fan, but the point is that you bring people in for whatever their reasons are, but you're not doing it to cater to them. I think that's the question that people have, and that's your answer is a fine one. Bob Fioretti, he served 2 terms as Second Ward Alderman in Chicago. He was, of course, a candidate for mayor as well. Now he is the Republican nominee for Cook County State's Attorney. He is on the ballot in Cook County on Tuesday. Bob Fioretti, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Alderman. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
$20 million. No, it's not the national debt. It's the buying spree that Fox Valley Coins is on from now until Thanksgiving. It's really the perfect storm. Gold and silver are at historic levels. Fox Valley Coins has a huge order to fill with one of their national clients.